It's so important when you're playing sport or whatever you're doing that you trust the people around you, you get on with people, and you want to be successful for the guys on the pitch. And I see number three as kind of the glue of the team in any format really, but especially four-day cricket. And my big reason of wanting to bat there was to score hundreds. At least when we look back on this year, we can remember a bit of silverware, which will always be special.
Ben, congratulations on being named Player of the Year. It's an award that even in recent years has got some big names in it, the likes of Samit Patel and Tom Moores and Luke Fletcher winning recently. So what does it mean to get that award at a club like Notts? Yeah,
obviously very special with sort of the history of the club and all the players that have won it. It's obviously a huge award to receive. Slightly different this year, obviously with it being a shorter summer. But to be honest, from my side, it was, I probably look at it as a bit of a moving year and kind of, set the standards really. And I've got to try and push on now and the years to come really. So, obviously winning a trophy and receiving Player of the Year is very special.
Slightly strange way to find out you've won. No big ceremony in the Derek Randall suite. Did it just come through as a notification on your phone this time?
Yeah, exactly. It's slightly different, isn't it? But to be honest, however you receive it, it still means the same, I guess. But obviously, would have been nice to have had an end of season awards with with the members and everyone else who comes along. And it would have been that slightly bit more special to receive it in front of all the teammates and everyone watching. But I guess that's what 2020 is, isn't it? It's a strange old year, and it was just nice to have a bit of positivity this year.
We spoke to Peter Moores last week about your season, and he talked about the way it felt like when you were out there in the middle, you were very much playing for the group, for Notts. What brought that togetherness this year for you in that dressing room?
Obviously a new side, and we struggled the year before. As I say, being a new team and everything, it didn't really go to plan. I don't think too much change really in the summer or anything. I think obviously there was a big group of us throughout the whole winter who were there. And I think we spoke all through the winter about kind of building as a team, and we made extra effort to kind of get to know each other, because I think it's so important when you're playing sport or whatever you're doing that you trust the people around you, you get on with people, and you want to be successful for the guys on the pitch. And with there being no fans this year, to be honest, in the ground, the only sort of motivation you've got is for the team and doing it for the boys around you. And I think that was why it was so good this year. The 4-day stuff, I think fans are looking at it, and it's another year without a win. But from my side, and I'm sure with the other lads, it was much more than that. And I think everyone who was there and everyone who saw last summer, it was us moving in the right direction. We kind of dominated basically every game. Just didn't manage to get over the line. I think that kind of comes from not winning and not being used to winning. So, I think moving forward, going ahead to next summer, we're in a far better position than we were last summer. So, I know as soon as we get that first win under our belt and we know what it feels like, fingers crossed that we can be the group of players to sort of move this club forward in that format.
In terms of the Red Bull stuff, how did you find batting at 3 and sort of solidifying that spot for yourself in the order at Notts this year?
Yeah, I loved it, to be honest. Personally, I said this to Morsey at the start of the summer, I see 3 as an extremely important position. And because I've opened the batting in the last few years, it wasn't really too much of a difference. A couple of times Slats and Haas put on unbelievable partnerships, and I could put my feet up, which was lovely. You don't get that as much as an opener before you bat, obviously. And there are other times, I think it was the Durham game where I was in the first over. So, because I have opened, I'm used to batting against the new ball. But then, if those two can put on a good partnership, I'm pretty happy coming in a bit later on. But I see number 3 as kind of the glue of the team in any format really, but especially 4-day cricket. And my big reason of wanting to bat there was to score hundreds, and obviously scoring 2 out of the 5 games I was extremely happy with. But yeah, as I say, it's not too much difference to what I do anyway. But yeah, obviously signing Hassie, it was great. It felt right for me to sort of drop down one position and try and make that position my own.
It was a different spot for you in the T20 order, particularly finals day when you moved up to Open. What sort of challenges did that bring to you in that final?
Again, to be honest, I mean, I opened in my last year at Northampton T20 cricket. I think the thing with me is I've kind of batted anywhere between 1 to 7. So wherever I am, I feel like I've done it before. And, throughout the competition, everyone wants to be in the top 3 Open or bat number 3. And, I was at 4 because we've got such a strong side. But the year I won the T20 comp with Northants, I batted 4 throughout that whole comp. So I guess there's no difference really. And as soon as Dan came up to me before the first semi-final and said, "Look, if the wicket's going to spin, you're going to open." And to be honest, it was, if that was 12 months before, I might have been a little bit nervous. But the headspace I was in, I was feeling good. I'd obviously scored a few runs earlier on in the comp. As soon as he said that, I was kind of praying, "Please turn," because I want to get out there earlier and try and get some runs for the side. So to be honest, I was very happy to be there at the top of the order.
In that final, what was going through your mind at 19 for 3?
To be honest, that I was very calm. And to be honest, that's not necessarily because I was batting. It was because the luxury I have with the team that, the rest of the guys coming in, all I had to do was look at the dugout or in the stands, obviously, because I don't think we're in a dugout this year, but and see the guys who were walking out to bat or the guys who hadn't even batted yet. So, again, I can look back at previous times where I've been in similar situations where against Nottinghamshire for Northants in the 2006 final, I think we were 10 for 2 in that game. And, I batted well in that game and kind of, so I've been in similar situations, but, not in a T20 final. It's probably the biggest stage in England in the biggest competition. So yeah, but I just remember being very calm throughout that whole innings. And I think I can only credit, Triggs and Dan Christian who came in, which to be honest made my life very easy.
Yeah, how did you find that partnership with Trigo in particular? 2 quite different approaches to that chase from you, it seemed.
Yeah, definitely. And as I say, he credited me it was so easy for me because he came out and played his natural game. And, it's allowed me to kind of keep batting with my tempo and not me feeling under pressure to have to take the risk myself because he was doing that. We had a little partnership in the Champo game against Durham when we were never going to chase down that score, but we gave it a go. And so I think actually looking back, I've only just thought of it now, that little, whatever we put on in that game, 50, 60, probably actually helped in the final because, as I say before then, me and Triggs had never batted before in a game. So yeah, it was just pretty simple. Obviously, we're very different players. We complement each other in different ways. So, obviously me getting 50 not out and DC getting 4 for 20 in the final, Triggs' innings probably won't really get spoken about. But for me, him coming in there, after not playing one game all summer for us in the T20 comp, after moving, backing himself as a gun white ball cricketer, which he is, to come in and do that in the final, it's huge credit to him.
And it was your first trophy with Notts, but far from your first domestic trophy overall. But what did this year mean to you? A trophy with a newer county and a trophy in a strange year like this as well?
Yeah, obviously winning a trophy is massive, whatever the year who it's for. But I think, for me personally, it was just huge with what happened this summer before. I think moving to a big county, not necessarily impressing the fans after what happened last year, just throughout the whole summer, I think it was so big to kind of, prove to them that, what I'm worthy of doing and what I can do. Such a shame that they weren't there, but I'm sure, all of them were watching at home on TV. So obviously that was extremely good. And I think, again, for us as a side, a fairly newish side, I know the T20 teams, been similar for a few years, but there's a couple of new lads in there. But obviously losing in the semi-final last year really hurt us all. So then, fans or no fans, at the end of the day, as I say, winning a trophy is huge. And with it being 2020, which I think is a year that, the whole world's going to remember, at least when we look back on this year, we can, remember a bit of silverware, which will always be special.